What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Stonefield Ranch channel, where we talk horsemanship and Western lifestyle. Earlier in the summer, I decided I was going to kind of chase this dream that I've had for a long time. I've always wanted to show a horse that I started. And so a few months ago, I went over to Boise and I picked up a little black 2-year-old colt. So my trajectory for showing, I think, is going to be a little bit different if I get there. But I don't really like starting them before they're 3. Their joints aren't filled in enough. So I went and found this cool 2-year-old that my buddy had, and I'd seen him before. I'd really liked him. So he wasn't started, but one of the things I've been thinking about is as my horses gain in value, and this is really for all of us, right? Because the horses are continuing to go up and appreciate. My day job requires that I'm away sometimes, and my wife, she does a very good job looking after the horses, but she's also not a horse person. So I wanted to keep a little bit better eye on some of my horses, and I'd been looking at some camera setups, and lo and behold, we had this company reach out to us, Barn Owl, and so I had a chance to pick up a couple of cameras. So this video is about these cameras I got. So we're gonna unbox them, we'll set them up, and just kind of show you how we're gonna monitor and kind of the setup that we've got here. So we got this box of cameras. So I have a couple of stalls in my barn. My barn's not real fancy. We'll do a barn tour one of these days, but we got this box, and I've got a range cam that's gonna be out kind of in the field. And the best part about this is it does not require a power source, and it doesn't require an internet connection either, right? Because if you're watching salt licks, if you're watching troughs, like if you got a broodmare herd that's turned out on a range that you want to check in on, this is a super cool camera setup. So I ordered 3 cameras. So what came with this was 3 solar panels and the 3 cameras, and then some of the SD cards that those cameras are gonna go in those cameras, and then backup batteries. Let's talk about each of them. One of the nice things about Barn Owl is they provide everything, right? They provide the cellular service, the software, and the cameras themselves, along with the solar panels, so you don't have to worry about anything. So all of them come with pre-activated SIM cards. They have GPSs in them, so you can track wherever they are, right? So maybe you could go some kind of James Bond something or other if somebody came and stole your cam on a feeder or something. But I don't think anybody's going to do that. So yeah, there's a couple of different cameras here. So there's the range cam and there's the reach cam. All of these are going to do photo and video both day and night. You can do the real-time option with them, but the real time is going to probably burn more battery, so you just got to make sure your solar panel has really good light. So with that, let's get these things opened. So I'm pretty pumped about these cameras because it's really nice to not have to put in a power supply. It's nice to not have to set it up on my own cellular network through Verizon. So we got the range cam and the 2 reach cams. So the range cam is going to have a wider field of vision. So I'm going to put this on the corner of my pasture up here. And then these 2 cams I'm going to have closer to the barn so I can kind of monitor and see everything. So this one has, again, a little bit narrow, or these 2 on the outside have a little bit narrower field of view. Narrower. That's a hard word to say. Speed limit for any Black Sheep fans out there. So we'll get these hooked up, and then here in a couple weeks we'll be able to show you guys what we've seen, what our experience was like with these cams. You know Wayne's World? 5, 4, 3. So it's been a couple weeks since we set up the cameras. I just want to talk a little bit about the experience at Barn Owl. It's been really nice having cameras on the horses. So I had a stall row. You guys, if you didn't have a chance to look at the barn tour video we did, I show kind of the stall rows that I had set up and monitored, as well as a hay feeder, and then the camera that's up in my east field. A couple weeks ago, I think I told you guys that I was gonna go, we were going on a family vacation, and it was awesome to be able to check in. I could see if there was still hay in the feeders to make sure that the person I'd hired to take care of things and look after it had actually, been coming. And then also monitoring the water, making sure the horses are okay. I knew a guy that was he's a very good horse trainer. He's usually pretty in tune with his horses. But he had gone out of town for a couple days, and it was the middle of summer, and one of his troughs had leaked out in one of his pastures, and he ended up losing a few horses. So, when you think about the investment that we have into these animals, where, your average ranch horse is probably going to be worth anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000, depending on what they can do. It's rough to lose 4 to 5 horses out in the pasture. So it's well worth monitoring them. I would say very much worth the price that you pay for the equipment and the subscription service. And again, it's a fully managed product. So you're not having to sign it onto your carrier network like you do with a lot of hunting cams. Barn Owl takes care of all of that. One thing I also would recommend after using them, I set up real-time streaming on all the cameras just because I wanted to test it out. And it is fall, so I did notice that we started to burn quite a bit of battery. The panels weren't generating quite enough energy for the low light solution, or I guess the low light area that we're in, and we're also in the high mountains, so our days are maybe even a little bit shorter than some others. But again, yeah, we set them up in October. So I would say just maybe don't do the real-time streaming, do every 5-minute updates. That should be plenty to get you, or even maybe on the hour, right? That should be plenty to be able to monitor your livestock. So again, these are awesome because they're on 4G, so set them up anywhere where you can get a cell signal. It could be top of the mountain where you might have a salt lick or, a water trough or something, or just out in the pasture. And regardless of whether or not the power goes out, your cameras are going to be working and you're going to be able to check in on the animals on your phones. So great experience with Barn Owl, highly recommend them. So let's talk pricing. The Reach Cam is $299, the Range Cam is $329. So we had 2 Reach Cams, we ran 1 Range Cam. Again, Range Cam has wider field of view, it's about 100 degrees. Reach Cam was a little bit more narrower field of view. I would recommend putting the cameras pretty close to the area that you're monitoring, because if they're too far away, you can't see quite as well what's going on, just because you can't zoom in and out with your phone and stuff. So setup was super easy on my phone. The app, it all took probably 10 to 15 minutes to set up all 3 cameras once I actually had them up. Click the link in the description below if you want to go check out these cameras. I actually know a couple local farmers and ranchers that are going to be trying to run these as well, just to monitor their barnyards, because Barn Owl will they've got some different recognition software that will see when cars are pulling in. They can send you notifications via email, or just push notifications on your phone. So if you're like, hey, nobody should be pulling into my barnyard right now, you can monitor who it is. If it's your mother-in-law, your creepy mother-in-law, you're gonna know about it with Barn Owl. So go get one. Happy riding, monitoring, surveillancing. Adios.